Hi, my name is Celie and welcome back to the Little Reader's Corner. Today we're talking about romance, we're talking about love, we're talking about some romance recommendations. I have a couple books picked here across a few different genres so that no matter what kind of books you read, there's hopefully something here for you. And these are definitely my favorite romance books that I've read in the last few years, so you may have heard a couple of these before, but let's get into this list. I have some historical fiction slash mythology retelling, and this is Lovely War. This is written by Julie Berry. This is most definitely one of my favorite books of all time. It starts off from the perspective of Aphrodite, and she's hanging out with Hephaestus and Ares. It's a bit of a complicated situation that Hephaestus found her and Ares in. And to get herself out of this and to get herself back into the trust of her husband Hephaestus, Aphrodite tells two stories of love and war and how the greatest love stories of all time have happened when war has collided with romance. Both of these stories take place in World War I and World War II. And it goes back and forth between the perspectives of Aphrodite telling the story in this hotel room to the two gods, and then this two different perspectives of the romances. And then a couple of other gods also make little brief appearances in this. Both of the romances that are told are fantastic. I loved both of them. This book was amazing. And if you like Greek myth retellings, if you like a little bit of historical fiction mixed in, this is definitely the book for you. Next, I have a couple of classic romantic comedies. So the first one is Tweet Cute by Emma Lord. I talk about this book a lot. I love it very much. This is the first book of Emma Lord's that I have read. I have read all of her books since then. She currently has 3 out. They're phenomenal. I love them very much, but this is the first one that I read, so this is the one I will be recommending. This is basically the romance between the two children of competing grilled cheese enterprises. The one is a large corporation that has recently introduced a grilled cheese recipe into all of their franchises, and then the other is just a small town bodega that makes their grandmother's famous grilled cheese. And it turns out that the large corporation was accused of stealing this grilled cheese recipe. Okay, enter the story. So both of these two teens run the social media pages of these two kind of competing families, and they don't know that they actually know each other in real life, and they both go to high school together, and they both compete in real life as well. And they're both kind of the most competitive in their school. They both do all the extracurriculars, do all the sports and everything, and they have their own rivalry. So the story unfolds as the small bodega accuses the large corporation of stealing their recipe, and they go head to head, and then some other more personal things happen, but it's super cute. But also you need to know that one of them is named Pepper, the other one is named Jack, and yes, Pepper Jack. Love that. Super cute, very fast read. I love it so much. Next is another book by one of my favorite romance authors, and that is Emily Henry, and this is Beach Read. This is also one of the first Emily Henry books that I read. Absolutely loved it. The title, as it suggests, is Beach Read. It is a beachy kind of read, but it also brings in a lot of heavier themes later on as well. So it starts off with these two writers who are staying at these houses on this large lake. They both are trying to get their writing back up again. They both have been in huge writing blocks, and they both write entirely different genres. One of them is more into writing the great American novel with all these deeper themes and metaphors and allegories, and then the other is a romance writer, and they both kind of detest the other's genre, but then they decide to make this bet to exchange genres, to write in each other's genres, just to see if maybe that'll help kick loose a little bit the writing block that they've both been in. So of course there's a little bit of a romance going on there. They go on little adventures to try to inspire them for some writing, and it is amazing. I love it very much, and it's so cute and fun. And just if you need to escape the real world, then this is a great way to do it. I have a futuristic kind of dystopian romance. This is Cryer's War by Nina Varela. So it's machine-human romance. It is pretty cute. It is sapphic. One of them is a human servant, the other is a maid royal. So she was created to be perfect, to be beautiful, and the two of them happen upon each other and they need to help each other out. So that is Crier's War. Next up, I have quite a few queer romances, so we're gonna go through these quickly. I've talked about all of these quite a bit in the past as well. So this is Happily Ever After. This is written by Elise Bryant. This is about a girl who wants to go into a writing program, and her parents are able to get her into this really cool high school where they have a big creative writing program. She gets there, she's always been a writer, she always has been writing these stories for her best friend. But then when she gets there, she has complete writer's block. She feels like none of her writing is good enough, that the romance stories that she writes in her free time aren't up to the standards of this school, and she isn't able to write a single word anymore. In the meanwhile, her best friend suggests that they make her a happily ever afters list where she's going to try to do all of these romantic-esque things to maybe inspire some true love of her own and let that inspire her stories. While all that is going down, she is in this new town, making new friends, and a lot of other things are going on as well. And her other new best friend is one of my favorite characters of all time. So there you go. It's lovely. It's so wonderful. I love this book so much. Go read it. There's a second one that either just came out or is about to come out. Next I have I Think I Love You. This is written by Ariane de Sombre. This one is about a group of friends who are trying to make this film project for this really big scholarship. One of them is a filmmaker. She kind of brings in all the other ones to help her out make this film project, but then this other girl comes back into town who was kind of part of the friend group, but they have kind of a rivalry now, and she gets roped into doing this film project as well, but they just keep butting heads, and it turns into two rival film projects for this big scholarship. Meanwhile, the two of them have to work together, and they keep having disagreements, but then maybe there's kind of something more underneath that, and maybe there's a little bit of romance, and it's just very good. It's wonderful. It's really fun to see the different film projects come together. All of the characters are really fleshed out, so even while there is this ongoing plot and there are little developments that are happening while they're creating these film projects, it's the characters that will keep you sticking around. Next, I have You Should See Me a Crown, and this is written by Leah Johnson. This is about Liz Lightly, who has just discovered that the financial aid that she'd been counting on for going into college has fallen through. She won't be able to get it anymore, so she needs to think of a new plan to get those funds so she can go to college. And there's this huge scholarship that goes out to the prom queen, and she decides that even though prom queen and the whole prom court is really not her thing, she's going to give it a shot because she really wants a shot at getting this scholarship. So her friends help her out. She is doing her best to do all of these tasks to be a part of the prom court. Of course, there's the new girl in school, Mac, who is also running for prom queen. And she's smart, she's funny, she's beautiful. The two of them have to work together on a couple projects, and Liz can't stop thinking about her. So the story goes on as they come up to prom, as prom is happening, what goes on, and it is very good. Very good. I love it very much. It's very good. Next, we have Honey Girl. This is written by Morgan Rogers. This is about a 20-something-year-old who just graduated with her PhD. She decides to celebrate with her friends in Las Vegas, and the next morning she realized that she married a woman she had just met at the bar the night before. So they part ways. She has no idea what this woman's name is. She just knows that she is now married, and she doesn't really know what to do about it. And since she just got her PhD, she's not really sure what she wants to do with her life. She has been in education for so long. She's trying to find the right career path for her, but she just doesn't know where that will be yet. So this is a coming of age story in her 20s as she's trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life, but also try to track down this woman that she married within a night, and it is lovely. It's also very short, but you don't notice that it's short. It's just a very well-contained story, and it's very good. Love it. And the last book that I'll be recommending is, yep, that's right, we're back to my favorite book, Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. So this book is wonderful. It's about Darcy Phillips, who runs this love advice, relationship advice, anonymous letter service. So there is an unmarked locker where people can drop their letters asking whatever questions they have about love, romance, relationships, all of that. And then Darcy will go into that locker when no one is looking, retrieve all of the letters, and then write back to these people. She doesn't actually have any romance experience of her own. She's getting all this information from websites, from other blogs, from other relationship gurus, and she's trying to help these people out. But then one of the letters is actually from her best friend concerning someone that she is also interested in. So it becomes a little bit messy when she starts messing with other people's lives that kind of affect her as well. And then someone at school finds out. She and him have never really been on the same page, but maybe she doesn't actually know him very well at all. He also has something that he needs solved in the romance department, and she might just be the one to help him out there. A lot of things go wrong along the way. I love all of the characters in this. All of them are wonderful. She has a trans sister. She is bisexual, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful book. I love it very much. I love it very much. All right, the last recommendations that I have for you are, of course, graphic novels. Yay! Love graphic novels in this house. So the first one is Bloom. This is written and created by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganosho, I think. This is super cute. This is about Ari, who's working in his parents' bakery over the summer, and he really just wants to move out, move into the city, and really try to start it out with his band for real. His parents know that he's not going to stick around the bakery forever, so they decide to hire Hector, who's going to be their helping hand for the summer. He's going to learn from Ari, and when Ari leaves after the summer ends, then Hector can take over his responsibilities. And then suddenly Ari's showing up to the bakery a little more frequently than his parents expected. And he starts showing up to help Hector out a lot, and it's really cute as a little bit of a crush and a romance develops there, and it's so wonderful. Also, it's very thick for a graphic novel. There is a lot of story here. I don't even know how many pages. It's like a 350-page graphic novel. So if you're looking for something a little more hefty in the graphic novel department. Also, the whole color palette is blue, and it is lovely. And lastly, we have Heartstopper, of course, by Alice Oseman. Yes, this is the special edition. Yes, it is beautiful, and yes, I am absolutely enamored with it. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. If you haven't heard about Heartstopper, it is about Charlie and Nick. They are both going to the same school, and the two of them become fast friends. They hang out all the time, and then Charlie realizes that he's really falling for Nick. But to his knowledge, Nick is completely straight, so it's got a dead end no matter what. But maybe Nick is still finding himself, and maybe there is still some hope left there, and you follow along as this sweet little romance develops, and it is the cutest freaking thing. I love it very much. And go read it, it's lovely. All right. Those are all of my romance recommendations. There are always so many more, but these are definitely my most favorite romances that I have read in the past few years. So let me know if you have read any of these, if you've enjoyed them, and otherwise, what is your favorite romance to recommend people during the romantic February season? Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that like. Let me know how you are doing down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!